class. I am excited to come and talk with you all today about school rules and how school rules are made. I'm sharing on my screen with you our SOAR expectations, and we have SOAR expectations for all of the places that we have throughout our school. Like the picture that I'm showing you is our SOAR expectations on the playground and the kinds of behavior that we expect all of our students here at Bahrain Elementary to have so that we're safe, orderly, appropriate, respectful, and responsible. But the question that Ms. Moten asked of me was, how do we get our rules and how are they made? Well, I want to share with you a journey that we went on a couple years ago. Our rules for SOAR and our expectations that we have were actually written by our student council. Our student council is a group of students in 4th and 5th grade who are elected each year. They represent our entire school. They're students in our classrooms, and they're looking to take on a role as a leader. So they work on a variety of things to help improve our school. And one of those things that they do is give advice and input on the expectations of how we should all behave at school. So a couple of years ago, our student council got together and they talked about what it meant to be safe, orderly, appropriate, respectful, and responsible. And they sat down and brainstormed all kinds of ideas of what it would look like. They talked about things like what should we do and how should we behave on the school bus? And they talked about what was the difference between being safe and the difference between being appropriate. Because when we're on the playground, for example, I'll go back to that one. Being safe means I'm keeping my hands and my feet to myself so that I don't hurt someone accidentally. And appropriate is I use the equipment the right way. I don't tie a jump rope onto a tree or a pole or something like that. I use the jump rope with 2 hands like it's supposed to be used. We also, as a student council, talked about making sure that our rules were understood by everyone. We wanted to make them simple and easy to understand because a kindergartner and a 5th grader might use different language. So we had to simplify them so that everyone knew what it looked like. And that was something that was very important when we developed our rules, was we wanted to make sure that people could actually think about and see with their eyes what it would look like. So, for example, in the bathroom, we all know what it looks like if we're climbing on equipment. If my feet are on top of the toilet seat, that is not where they belong. And I know what that looks like. So when we say that safe is not climbing or playing on the equipment, we know exactly what that means. Orderly, waiting your turn. We know what it means to stand in line and wait. We sometimes wait to get in the movies, or we wait to get our lunch, or we wait at the checkout counter at the NEX. We know what it means to wait our turn. And so everyone could understand what that looked like. So over the course of about 3 months, our student council developed expectations for the playground, the bathroom, the bus, the hallways, indoor recess, especially on those Black Flag days when we can't go outside because it's just too hot, the lunchroom, and then your classroom teachers developed those for what was happening in their rooms. So your teachers also play an important part of developing rules because rules might change in the art room or in PE in the gymnasium or in your classroom with Miss Moten. Everybody has rules specific and unique to their location. Now, recently, I shared with everyone a video of the expectations we have in digital learning because we're not at school and we're learning at home or over at SAC. And so it's a little bit different. And so the rules and expectations had to be adjusted. Well, where do I get our school rules from for bigger rules outside of the ones that we follow or the ones that student council made? Well, I use things like my handbook here. And in my handbook, I have a specific handbook just for our school. And in that handbook, and this one's for this year, in our handbook, we have lots of rules and regulations. Some of those were rules that we put together with the help of NSA Bahrain and the leadership on the base. Some of them were rules that were created by my boss, and she gave them to me and said, these are the things that we have to do. Some of those rules came all the way from the Pentagon and from the Department of Defense. And there were big committees and groups of people that made rules. And other rules sometimes are rules that I get to make up as a principal because they help us to remain safe, orderly, appropriate, respectful, and responsible. Rules are designed to help us work together to be safe, orderly, appropriate, respectful, and responsible in everything that we do. Rules help to maintain order and consistency. Your teachers follow rules, you follow rules, and I follow rules, just like the rules that you probably have at home with your parents. I hope today our short conversation about rules and how expectations are developed here at school helps you to understand why certain things go on in our community the way they do, and the kinds of people that get to make decisions about rules.